Hey guys, this is Maltitus from Maltitus Games. I wanted to take a minute and make a little video for YouTube, so if you're watching this on Twitch, then you're gonna see something a little bit earlier than I want you to, but that's okay. Basically, I wanted to give a history of who I am, where I came from, why I'm going to YouTube. I'm staying on Twitch, don't freak out, but I wanted to start a YouTube channel to kind of help our community move along, to put up videos and things that I'm interested in, and to get to know you guys a little better. I've never been on YouTube before. So, where did I come from? Why am I into gaming? Well, basically, the first time I can ever remember gaming was in 1981. My parents bought an Atari 2600, and I remember hearing them. They were in their early 30s. They were downstairs laughing like crazy, and I didn't know what a video game system was. And I picked it up. I think the first games that were on that were games like Air to Sea Battle and Combat, and then eventually Pitfall, Pac-Man, Defender, stuff like that. And I was well on my way at that point. I was completely hosed and into video games. Then all of a sudden, along comes the ColecoVision. Now, my friends had something called an Intellivision. You can look that up. But I wanted a ColecoVision. And that game was badass and considered, on some lists, one of the top systems ever made for its time. It had games like Spy Hunter, Time Pilot, Mr. Do, Rocky Boxing, Zaxxon. God, I can't remember all the other games. There were so many good games on that system, and I loved it to death. Fortunately, the company itself went bankrupt 2 years after they put this great game system out. I was without a system for quite a while. Until, in 1986, I was introduced to the Commodore 64. That was a system that changed everything for me. I started learning how to program, I got into all kinds of games, and it introduced me to story-driven games and mostly fantasy games, which I love today. Games like Bard's Tale, games like Pool of Radiance, games like Curse of the Azure Bonds. So many titles I can't even tell you. And the great part about those games back then was there was no copyright protection at the time, way back when. So everybody would just break everything. We had hundreds of games. Everybody had hundreds of games in their libraries. Everything you could think of. Kind of like the golden age of craziness. And there was no internet back then either. So we would all like break code, change games. Really got me into understanding computers and that kind of stuff. The next system going forward was probably the Sega Genesis. That came out around 1988, 89. All I can remember from that was there was this great adventure game. I've never figured out what it is. It's like a night game. You get weapons and stuff. Again, fantasy adventure. And also Altered Beast, which looking back was really, really bad. Then after that came my first PlayStation. That ended up being, let's see, 95. I have a little cheat sheet over here that I'm working off of. The PlayStation, whole new era of graphics, whole new everything, right? That was when the PlayStation was killing everything. There was no Xbox or anything like that at the time. So I remember games like Abe's Oddworld Adventure, Battle Arena Toshinden, Tekken. God, there were so many games on the PlayStation, and I just loved them. Even their sports games were pretty incredible. And I had a great time with PlayStation. Then I got into computers. In 19, let's see, it would have been 87. A friend of mine got me a 386 computer and got me into the closed beta of Ultima Online, which would change my life forever. Played that game intensely, was super behind. Originally, it was Origin, I believe, out of Austin that produced it, and Lord British, and eventually went to Electronic Arts. I followed that game for many, many years. In fact, I kept playing that even when it kind of died off with EverQuest and stuff in the 2000s. Started playing World of Warcraft in 2004, which is a whole new generation, this current decade, or excuse me, century, I mean, of games. And I've been playing World of Warcraft off and on ever since. And I really love story-driven games, that kind of stuff. Had different PCs all along, and I'm purely PC guy. In fact, my last console was that PlayStation. It's been that long. I played almost every MMO you can name, Korean, otherwise, and that kind of stuff. So MMOs were kind of my jam. Recently, I've been getting into more episodic games. The Fallout series, the Mass Effect series, and then everything really, really changed last year. A friend of mine introduced me to Twitch, and at first I thought it was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen. Who would want to watch somebody play video games for hours and hours? Then I fell in love with it, and then eventually I had to make my own cast. So in September of last year, I started Maltitus Games, and again, my name is Ryan. I go by the name Maltitus. We have a blast on my channel, and I want you to come out and check it out. And now that I'm on YouTube, you'll be seeing some of the things that we'll be doing going forward. And I hope you'll join us on my Twitch channel and our new Steam group, and give me a subscribe here on this YouTube so I can get my real name on the channel. Right now it just says a bunch of letters and numbers. Need help? Hit that subscribe button if you like it. That's who I am. That's where I've been. I hope to see you at our channel. that's about it. If you like what you're seeing, hit subscribe. Come check us out. We'd love to have you along. Take care, guys. Thanks. Push the button over here and we do this. Oh, look, it's a new logo.